What's going on, family? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tyron Tyson, the business golfer. I'm a financial advisor, a father, a husband, and an entrepreneur. And listen, today I'm out here at the club. We in the short game area trying to sharpen up some of the areas that we're weak on, which currently is my chipping and my approach shots. I can't hit a green and I can't get up and down to save my life. So pretty much in this video today, I really just wanted to talk about what I noticed as a financial advisor, what I noticed as a golfer, and that thin line between what your game says about you and how you run your business. When I come out here and I play with different golfers, most cases they're business owners because we're golfing during the week, early in the morning, and nobody has that time freedom except for people who own their time. When I'm talking to them, they're telling me about their business, they're telling me the problems that they're having in their business. But then I also see them approach the tee box and how they approach each hole that they're gonna play. And it makes so much sense because I'm like, you know what your golf game is telling me right now about you is telling me that you run your business the same way you play golf, right? You run your business without strategy. You run your business without any intention. Let me give you some data. And I don't know if this is like statistically accurate, but I've heard it for the longest time since playing golf and since becoming an entrepreneur. 90% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. And I want to say maybe 90% of golfers never break 100 or never break 90, which is like mind-blowing to me because I'm trying to figure out how can you play golf your entire life and be bad your entire life. Now, we all know golf is hard. We're not talking about professional level, but there are average Joe scratch golfers. But in order to get better at golf, you gotta practice, you gotta put in the time. The same way as a business owner, in order for your business to become profitable, you have to invest. The same way you invest time into your golf practice, you have to reinvest back into yourself, back into your business, because you only know what you know. And the things that you don't know are what's keeping you from getting better. That's in both business and in golf. Now, as a golfing, financial advising entrepreneur, I feel like this problem starts with your strategy, how you approach the game and how you approach your business. Now, a lot of business owners are merely just hustlers, right? They have a glorified side hustle, or they are self-employed, meaning that they're working for themselves. They don't own the business owns them. And that's simply because there's really no plan or goal when it comes to increasing the profitability of the business, increasing the efficiency of the business, and then even down to things like quality and assurance to where can we cut costs and save money at. Like, you know how you got some workers that's living paycheck to paycheck? Well, you got a lot of business owners out here that are living invoice to invoice, and there's no real intention or plan behind the money that they're making, the money that they're spending, and how they're planning to actually grow their business. The same way you got golfers out here who approach the first tee box, approach the second, approach every tee box with their driver. Why? Because that's all they know, and that's what you're supposed to do, right? No. Sometimes you can step up on the tee box with an iron, you can step up on the tee box with a wood. It's all about knowing your game, knowing where the hazards are and where you're supposed to miss if you really have a strategy. But they step to the tee box with driver, they swing out of their shoes, send it either OB, in the woods, penalty somewhere, or in the water, or they can't find it. You get what I'm saying? So there's no real plan. And guess what? After they leave that hole, they go to the very next hole and do the same thing. And it drives me insane because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And I feel like people do this year in and year out in their business. They come in, they make enough to make a living, but they don't do enough and don't do more in order to actually increase the value and enterprise value of the business so that they now have the time to not have to work in the business and they can work on the business instead of in the business. Just like golfers who don't get lessons. They don't get short game lessons to learn how to chip. They don't get lessons to learn how to actually swing their club. They don't get lessons to learn how to putt. Like, it's like just trying to figure it out as you go along. And as long as nothing bad happens, then we're good and we'll keep going at this pace. I feel like that's how people approach the game, and that's how people approach their business. And trust me, once you see an elite golfer, the same way you see an elite business owner, that golfer has a caddy, that golfer has a personal trainer, that golfer has a dietitian, that golfer has a short game coach, that golfer has a strategy coach, just like the business owner. A profitable 8 or 7 figure business owner has a full scale team. They have financial advisors on staff. They have accountants on staff. They have business lawyers. They have estate planners. They have everything so that they can have every T crossed and every I dotted in areas that they know they don't specialize in, that they're not strong in. So they hire someone else to do it so that it makes the business better. But those are only the few. 90% of everybody else just thinks that they can do it on their own, or their business is good enough to kind of withstand just the natural business cycle. Then they get to retirement age where all their business is done is enough to, you know, pay off their mortgage, put food in the refrigerator, but they have nothing left for retirement. But then after years and years of spending your time, blood, sweat, and tears in your business, you get to a point where you get tired and you start to look and think, like, I can't do this forever. You look in front of you and you see that there's not much time, and you look behind you and you see how much time was wasted in the things that you should have done that you didn't do. And I feel like that's the same for golf. At the end of the round, you see your scorecard, you see where you got triple bogeys, where you got double bogeys, and you think about all the what ifs, all the woulda, shoulda, couldas, all the if I didn't do this, or if I would have taken this approach. But at that point, it's too late. You already got the score. The round is over. Out on the course, a wise man once told me, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So the same way you play your game of golf is the same way you run your business. And if you're having some problems in your business right now, I'm sure it's a couple reasons why, that if we get out on the course, it'll kind of show. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Again, my name is Tyron Tyson. I'm the business golfer. If you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and keep checking in. Till then, I'll see you when I see you.